she woo, and hark again the crowing cock, how drowsily it crew. Celluline the barren rich, hath a toothless mastiff bitch. From her kennel beneath the rock, she maketh answer to the clock. 4 for the quarters and 12 for the hour, ever and aye by shine and shower. 16 short howls, not over loud. Some say she sees my lady's shroud. It covers but not hides the sky. The moon's behind and at the full, and yet she looks so small and dull. The night is chill, the cloud is grey. 'Tis a month before the month of May, and the spring comes slowly up this way. The lovely Lady Christabel, whom her father loved so well, what makes her in the wood so late, a furlong from the castle gate? She had dreams all yesternight of her own betrothed night, and she in the midnight wood will pray for the will of her lover that was far away. She stole along, she nothing spoke, the sighs she breathed were soft and low, and naught was green upon the oak, but moss and rarest mistletoe. She kneels beneath the huge oak tree, and in silence prayed she. The lady sprang up suddenly, the lovely Lady Christabel. It moaned as near can be, but what it is she cannot tell. On the other side it seems to be of the huge broad-breasted old oak tree. The night is chill, the forest bare, is the wind that moaneth bleak. There is not wind enough in the air to move away the ringed cow to your lovely lady. There is not wind enough to twirl the one red leaf, the last of its clan, that dances as often as danced can, hanging so light and hanging so high, on the topmost twig that looks up at the sky. Hush, beating heart of Christabel, Jesus, Maria, shield her well. She folded her arms beneath her cloak, and stole to the other side of the oak. What sees she there? There she sees a damsel bright, dressed in a silken robe of white, that shadowy in the moonlight shows. The neck that made that white robe was, her stately neck and arms were bare. Her blue-veined feet unsandaled were, and wildly glittered here and there, the gems entangled in her hair. I guess 'twas frightful there to see a lady so richly clad as she, beautiful exceedingly. Mary, mother, save me now, said Christabel. And who art thou? The lady strange made answer meet, and her voice was faint and sweet. Have pity on my sore distress, I scarce can speak for weariness. Stretch forth thy hand and have no fear, said Christabel, how camest thou here? And the lady's voice was faint and sweet, did thus pursue her answer meet. My sire is of noble line, and my name is Geraldine. 5 warriors. They choked my cries with force and fright, and tied me on a palfrey white. The palfrey was as fleet as wind, and they rode fearlessly behind. They spurred amain, their steeds were white, and once we crossed the shade of night. As sure as heaven shall rescue me, I have no thought what men they be, nor do I know how long it is, for I have laid entranced I wis, since one the tallest of the 5 took me from the palfrey's back, a weary woman, scarce alive. Some muttered words his comrades spoke, he placed me underneath this oak. He swore they would return with haste, whither they went I cannot tell. I thought I heard some minute past, sounds as of a castle bell. Stretch forth thy hand, ascended she, and help a wretched maid to flee. Then Christabel stretched forth her hand, and comforted fair Geraldine. O well, bright day, may you command the service of Celia line, and gladly our stout chivalry will be sent forth and friends withal, to guide and guard you safe and free, hope your noble father's hall. She rose, and forth the steps they passed that strove to be, and were not fast. O gracious stars, the lady blessed, and thus spake on sweet Christabel. All our households are at rest, the whole are silent as the cell. Sir Leoline is weak in health, and may not well awake people, but we will move as if in stealth, and I beseech your courtesy this night to share your couch with me. They crossed the moat, and Christabel took the key that fitted well. A little door she opened straight, all in the middle of the outside the kennel the mastiff old lay fast asleep in moonshine cold. The mastiff old did not awake, yet she an angry moan did make. And what can ail the mastiff bitch? Never till now she hath yelled beneath the eye of Christabel. Perhaps it is the owlet's bitch, but what can ail the mastiff bitch? They pass the hole that echoes still, pass as lightly as he will. The brands were flat, the brands were dying, amid their own white ashes lying. But when the lady passed, there came a tongue of light, a fit of flame, and Christabel saw the lady's eye, and nothing else saw she thereby, save the boss of the shield of Sir Leoline tall, which hung in a murky old niche in the wall. "Oh, softly tread," said Christabel, "my father seldom sleepeth well." Sweet Christabel her feet doth bear, and jealous of the listening air, they steal their way from stair to stair, now in glimmer and now in gloom, and now they pass the baron's room, as still as death with stifled breath, and now have reached her chamber door, and now doth Geraldine press down the rushes of the chamber floor. The moon shines dim in the open air, and not a moonbeam enters here, but they without its light can see the chamber carved so curiously, carved with figures strange and sweet, all made out of the carver's brain. For a lady's chamber meet, the lamp with twofold silver chain is fastened to an angel's feet. The silver lamp burns dead and dim, but Christabel the lamp will trim. She trimmed the lamp and made it bright, and left it swinging to and fro, while Geraldine, in wretched fright, sank down upon the floor below. "O weary lady, Geraldine, I pray you drink this cordial wine. It is a wine of virtuous powers. My mother made it of wildflowers." To bid thee fear. Alas, what ails poor Geraldine? Why stares she with unsettled eye? And she the bodiless dead espy, and why the hollow voice cries she, "Off, woman, off, this hour is mine." Though her guardian spirit be, oft woman, oft 'tis given to me. Then Christabel knelt by the lady's side, and raised to heaven her eyes so blue. Alas, she said this ghastly rhyme. Dear lady, it hath bewildered you. The lady wiped her moist cold brow, and faintly said, "'Tis over now." Again the wildflower wine she drank, her fair large eyes gan glitter bright, and from the floor whereon she sank, the lofty lady stood upright. She was most beautiful to see, like a lady of a far country, and thus the lofty lady spake. All they who live in the upper sky do love you, holy Christabel, and you love them for their sake, and for the good which me befell. Even I in my degree will try, fair maiden, to requite you well. But now unrobe yourself, for I must pray, ere yet in bed I lie. Quoth Christabel, so let it be, and as the lady bade did she, a gentle limbs did she undress, and lay down in her loveliness. But through her brain of weal and woe, so many thoughts moved to and fro, that vain it were her lids to close. So halfway from the bed she rose, and on her elbow did recline, to look at the Lady Geraldine. Beneath the lamp the lady bowed, and slowly rolled her eyes around, then drawing in her breath aloud, like one that shuddered she unbound thick cincture from beneath her breast. Her silken robe and inner vest dropped to her feet, and in full in view, behold her bosom and half a side, a sight to dream of, not to tell. Oh, shield her, sweet Christabel. Yet Geraldine nor speak nor stirs. Ah, what a stricken look was hers. Deep from within she seems halfway, to lips unwaked with sick assay, and eyes the maid and seeks delay. Then suddenly as one defied, collects herself in scorn and pride, and lay down by the maiden's side, and in her arms the maid she took. Ah, well a day, and with a low voice and doleful look, these words did she say. In the touch of this bosom there worketh the spell, which is Lord of thy utterance, Christabel. Thou knowest tonight, and wilt know tomorrow, this mark of my shame, the seal of my sorrow. But vainly thou warst, for this is alone thy power to declare, that in the dim forest thou heardst a low moaning, and foundst a bright lady surpassingly fair, and didst bring her home with thee in love and in charity, to shield her and shelter her from the damp air. It was a lovely sight to see the Lady Christabel when she was praying at the old oak tree, amid the jagged shadows of mossy leafless boughs, kneeling in the moonlight to make her gentle vows, her slender palms together pressed, heaving sometimes on her breast, her face resigned to bliss or bare, her face, oh call it fair, not pale, and both blue eyes more bright than clear, each about to have a tear. With open eyes, ah, woe is me, asleep and dreaming fearfully dreaming, yet I wist, dreaming that alone which is, oh sorrow and shame, can this be she, the lady who knelt in the old oak tree? And lo, the workers of these harms, that holds the maiden in her arms, seems to slumber still and mild, as a mother with her child. A star hath set, a star hath risen, O Geraldine, these arms of thine have been the lovely lady's prison. O Geraldine, one hour was the smooth thin lids close o'er her eyes, and tears she sheds, large tears that leave the lashes bright, and after a while she seems to smile, as infants at sudden light. Yea, she doth smile and she doth weep, like a youthful hermitess, beauteous in a wilderness, who praying always prays in sleep, and if she moves unquietly, perchance 'tis but the blood so free comes back and tingles in her feet. No doubt she hath a vision sweet. What if her guardian spirit were? What if she knew her mother near? But this she knows in joys and woes. The saints will aid if men will call, for the blue sky bends over all. Each matin bell the Baron saith, knells us back to a world of death. These words Sir Leoline first said, when he rose and found his lady dead. These words Sir Leoline will say, many mourn to his dying day. And hence the custom in law began, that still at dawn the sacristan, who duly pulls the heavy bell, 45 beats must tell, between each stroke, a warning knell, which not a soul can choose but hear, from Brath ahead to Windermere. Set Bracy thy barb, so let it know, and let the drowsy sacristan still count as slowly as he can. There is no lack of such, I ween, as well lair, and dungeon gear so foully rent, with ropes of rock and bells of air, 3 sinful sextons, ghosts are pent, who will give back one after the other a death blow to their living brother, and oft too by the nail offended, just as their 1, 2, 3 is ended. The devil mocks the doleful tale, the merry peal from Borrowdale. The air is still, through mist and cloud, that merry peal comes ringing round, and Geraldine shakes off her dread, and rises lightly from the bed, puts on her silken vestments white, and tricks her hair in lovely light, and nothing doubting of her spell, awakens the Lady Christabel. Sleep you, sweet Lady Christabel, I trust that you have rested well. And Christabel awoke and spied the same who lay down by her side, or rather say the same whom she raised up beneath the old oak tree, more fairer yet, and yet more fair, for she belike hath drunken deep of all the blessedness of sleep. And while she spake, her looks, her air, such gentle thankfulness declare, that so it seemed her girded vest hath risen. O Geraldine, these arms of thine have been the lovely lady's prison. O Geraldine, one hour was the smooth thin lids close o'er her eyes, and tears she sheds, large tears that leave the lashes bright, and oft the while she seems to smile, as infants at sudden light. Yea, she doth smile and she doth weep, like a youthful hermitess, beauteous in a wilderness, who praying always prays in sleep, and if she moves unquietly, perchance 'tis but the blood so free comes back and tingles in her feet. No doubt she hath a vision sweet. What if her guardian spirit were? What if she knew her mother near? But this she knows in joys and woes. The saints will aid if men will call, for the blue sky bends over all. Each matin bell the Baron saith, knells us back to a world of death. These words Sir Leoline first said, when he rose and found his lady dead. These words Sir Leoline will say, many mourn to his dying day. And hence the custom in law began, that still at dawn the sacristan, who duly pulls the heavy bell, 45 beats must tell, between each stroke, a warning knell, which not a soul can choose but hear, from Brath ahead to Windermere. Set Bracy thy barb, so let it know, and let the drowsy sacristan still count as slowly as he can. There is no lack of such, I ween, as well and dungeon gear so foully rent, with ropes of rock and bells of air, 3 sinful sextons, ghosts are pent, who will give back one after the other a death note to their living brother, and oft too by the nail offended, just as their 1, 2, 3 is ended. The devil mocks the doleful tale, the merry peal from Borrowdale. The air is still, through mist and cloud, that merry peal comes ringing round, and Geraldine shakes off her dread, and rises lightly from the bed, puts on her silken vestments white, and tricks her hair in lovely light, and nothing doubting of her spell, awakens the Lady Christabel. Sleep you, sweet Lady Christabel, I trust that you have rested well. And Christabel awoke and spied the same who lay down by her side, or rather say the same whom she raised up beneath the old oak tree. More fairer yet, and yet more fair, for she belike hath drunken deep of all the blessedness of sleep. And while she spake, her looks, her air, such gentle thankfulness declare, that, so it seemed, her girded vests grew tight beneath her heaving breast. Sure I have sinned, said Christabel, now heaven be praised if all be well, and in low faltering tones yet might wash away her sins unknown. She fought with love-theft Geraldine to meet her sire Leoline. The lovely maid and the lady toy are pacing both into the hall, and pacing on through the his gentle daughter to his breast. With cheerful wonder in his eyes, the Lady Geraldine espies, and gave such welcome to the same as might beseem so bright a dame. But when he heard the lady's tale, and when she told her father's name, why waxed Sir Leoline so pale, murmuring o'er the name again, Lord Roland Vaux of Triamain. Alas, they had been friends in youth, but whispering tongues can poison truth, and constancy lives in realms above, and life is thorny and youth in vain, and to be wroth with one we love doth work like madness in the brain. And thus is chanced as I divine, with Roland and Leoline. Each spake words of high disdain, and insults to his heart's best brother. They parted ne'er to meet again, but never either found another to free the hollow heart from paining. They stood aloof. A dreary sea now flows between, but neither heat nor frost nor thunder shall wholly do away, I ween, the marks of that which once hath been. Sir Leoline a moment's space stood gazing on the damsel's face, and the youthful lord of Triamain came back upon his heart again. Oh, then the baron forgot his age, his noble heart swelled high with rage. He swore by the wounds in Jesu's side, he would proclaim it far and wide, with trump and solemn heraldry, that they who thus had wronged the dame were baits of spotted infamy. And if they dare deny the same, my herald shall appoint a week, and let the recreant traitors seek my tawny court, that there and then I may dislodge their reptile souls from the bodies and forms of men. He spake his high enlightening laws, for the lady was ruthlessly seized, and he kenned in the beautiful lady the child of his friend. And now the again she felt that bosom cold, and drew in her breath with a hissing sound, whereat the knight turned wildly around, and nothing saw but his own sweet maid, with eyes upraised as one that prayed. The touch, the sight had passed away, and in its stead that vision blessed, which comforted her after rest, while in the lady's arms she lay, had put a rapture in her breast, and on her lips and o'er her eyes spread smiles like light. With new surprise, what ails then, my beloved child? The baron said. His daughter mild made answer, all well, yet be well. I ween she had no power to tell, aught less, so mighty was the spell. Yet he who saw this Geraldine had deemed her sure a thing divine. Such sorrow with such grace she blended, as if she feared she had offended sweet Christabel, that gentle maid, and with such lowly tones she prayed she might be sent without delay home to her father's mansion. Nay, nay, by my soul, said Leoline, O Bracy the bard, the charges be thine. Go thou with music sweet and loud, and take to steed with trappings proud, and take the youth whom thou lovest best, to bear thy heart and learn thy song, and clothe you both in solemn vest, and over the mountains haste along, lest wandering folk that are abroad on the valley road. And when he has crossed the ebbing flood, my merry bard, he hastes, up Norham moor, through Helgethgard wood, and reaches soon the castle good, which stands and threatens Scotland wastes. Bard Bracy, your horses are fleet, you must ride up the hall, your music so sweet, more loud than your horse's echoing feet, and loud to Roland call. Thy daughter is safe in Langdale Hall, thy beautiful daughter is safe and free, Sir Leoline greets thee thus through me. He bids thee come without delay with all thy numerous array, and take thy lovely daughter home, and he will meet thee on the way with all his numerous array, wide with their panting palfreys foam, And by mine honour I will say that I repent me of the day when I spoke words of fierce disdain to Roland de Vaux of Triamain. For since that evil hour hath flown, many a summer sun hath shone, yet ne'er found I a friend again like Roland de Vaux of Triamain. The lady fell and clasped his knees, her face upraised, her eyes o'erflowing, and Bracy replied with faltering voice, his gracious hail on all bestowing, thy words, thou sire of Christabel, are sweeter than my harp can tell. Yet might I gain a boon of thee, this day my warned by a vision in my rest, for in my sleep I saw that dove, that gentle bird whom thou dost love, and called by thy own daughter's name, Sir Leoline, I saw the same, fluttering and uttering a fearful moan, among the green herbs in the forest alone, which when I saw and when I heard, I wondered what might ail the bird, for nothing near it I could see, save the grass and green herbs underneath the old tree. And in my dream methought I went to search out what might there be found, and what the sweet bird's trouble meant, that thus lay fluttering on the ground. I went and peered and could descry no cause for her distressful cry, but yet for her dear lady's sake, I stooped coiled around its wings and neck, green as the herbs on which it crouched, close by the doves its head it crouched, and with the dove it heaves and stirs, swelling its neck as she swelled hers. I woke, it was the midnight hour, the clock was echoing in the tower, but though my slumber was gone by, this dream it would not and Geraldine, in maiden wise, casting down her large bright eyes, with blushing cheek and curtsy fine, she turned her from Sir Leoline, softly gathering up her train, that o'er her right arm fell again, and folded her arms across her chest, and couched her head upon her breast, and looked askance at Christabel. Jesu, Maria, shield her well. Her snake's small eye blinks dull and shy, and the lady's eyes they shrunk in her head, each shrunk up to a serpent's eye, and with somewhat of malice and more of dread, at Christabel she looked askance. One moment and the sight was fled, but Christabel in dizzy trance, stumbling on the unsteady ground, shouted aloud with a hissing sound, and Geraldine again turned round, and like a thing that sought relief, full of wonder and full of grief, she rolled her large bright eyes divine, wildly on Sir Leoline. Though maid, alas, her thoughts are gone, she nothing sees, no sight but one, the maid devoid of guile and sin, I know not how and fearful wise, so deeply had she drunken in that look, those shrunken serpent eyes, that all her features were resigned to this soul imagined in her mind, and passively did imitate that look of dull and treacherous hate, and thus she stood in dizzy trance, still picturing that look askance, with forced unconscious sympathy, full before her father's view, as far as such a look could be, in eyes so innocent and blue. When the trance was o'er, the maid paused a while and inly prayed, Then, falling at the Baron's feet, by my mother's soul do I entreat, let this woman send away, she said, and more she could not say, for what she knew she could not tell. Thy joy, thy pride, so fair, so innocent, so mild, the saint for whom thy lady died. By the pangs of her dead mother, think thou no evil of thy child, for her and thee and for no other, she prayed the moment ere she died, might prove her dear Lord's joy and pride. Honored by his only child, and all his hospitality to the wronged daughter of his friend, by more than woman's jealousy, brought thus to a disgraceful end. He rolled his eye with stern regard upon the gentle minstrel bard, and said in tone abrupt, austere, why, Bracy, dost thou loiter here? I bade thee hence. The Lord obeyed, and turning from himself, the aged knight, Samuel, led forth thy lady Geraldine. A little child, an infant sound, singing, dancing to itself, a fairy thing with red round cheeks that always finds and never sees, makes such a vision to the sight as fills the father's eyes. To mutter and mock a broken charm, to dally with wrong that does no harm. Perhaps she tempts me in pity, at each wild word to feel within a sweet recoil of love and pity. And what if in a world of sin, or sorrow and shame, should this be true, such giddiness of heart and brain comes seldom saved from